Let's get to it. I got some monsters to hunt. What up, viewers? What up? What up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, February 28th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. Like I said, the biggest game, I think, of the first half of the year, if not the first 3 quarters of the year, has finally arrived. It is Monster Hunter Wilds has launched. It's currently got a 90 Metacritic, which is exactly what Monster Hunter Worlds had. So I think it'll do similar, if not a little bit more, getting some of the old uh, people who played the first one back. I have been hearing about PC issues. I'm currently playing on PlayStation 5 and haven't experienced any issues, but I've been keeping note of all of those. But that hasn't stopped it from being one of the top 10 titles on Steam of all time, which is crazy to think that, so even with all those PC issues, people are still buying it and downloading and hopefully getting some gameplay in. I will be looking forward to playing some more right after this. But I'm very excited. I've already got friends that I'm waiting for, and so we all gotta hop in and we're gonna play crossplay. It's gonna be great. So very excited for a new Monster Hunter game. This being a more of a true sequel to Monster Hunter Worlds. I know they had Sunrise or whatever the Switch one, which I think was more of a half step rather than a full step sequel. But yeah, I've been really excited for this, and I played the heck out of Monster Hunter Worlds. So excited for Wilds, and I'm already somewhat into it. So and looking forward to playing more. There was a Pokemon Presents this week, where they talked about all things Pokemon. They also don't really advertise these as much as I recall, so maybe I did read an article last week and decided to wipe it from my memory. But one of the big things they kind of talked out, they set up the world that will be Pokemon Z and A, which is the sequel to Arceus. So it'll have hopefully that kind of crafting system and kind of open world exploration that we're looking for and that we enjoyed about Arceus, with maybe a little bit deeper and more bespoke stuff to do as opposed to it being kind of samey at some point, which was why one of my big complaints about Arceus. They also didn't announce a date, so I don't have any more information beyond that. They also talked a little bit more about Pokemon Pocket and some features to come into that. But yeah, the big thing coming out of Pokemon was I'm curious what Pokemon ZA will look like. So got a little bit of a world intro there. Xbox also did a showcase in showing off some indie games. ID at Xbox, indie developer at Xbox, and there's some games from that I was really interested in. I think I'm going to enjoy playing 33 Mortals with me and my friends in the roguelike, which I think is a multiplayer game. You can also play Balaltro, so now I don't have to pay any money for Balaltro. I can just play it on Game Pass, so looking forward to that. There's a cool mansion kind of puzzle game called Blueprints that's supposedly coming to Game Pass in April that I'm looking forward to. And then there's another game called Herdling, which I forget who the developer is. I think it's a Panic game. But yeah, it's a cool you're managing like a group of wild animals, and so you're kind of I think you're collecting them or moving them or farming them or something like that. So that one looks cool to me. Caught my eye. There was teases and I don't know if tease is the right word. There was leaks this week that finally got somewhat confirmed with that sounds like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 will get the same treatment that 1 and 2 got, with a remaster coming soon. So I'm looking forward to Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 coming out. Although I don't remember how much I liked those ones as they weren't as pivotal in my mind as Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 were. So 1 and 2 were. So I'll be curious if I remember as much about those as I do about the first two. My alma mater, WB Games, has finally succumbed to the kind of pressures, the market pressures that are out there on game developers. So they closed down several studios this week, including WB San Diego. Player First Games, which was the developer of Multiverses, which we already know has been on the decline, and servers are going down in the next couple months or so. And then Monolith closed down, the developer of the Shadow of War, or Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, those games, as well as the Fear games back in the day. So that studio is shut down, which means that they've also stopped production on the Wonder Woman game, which is supposed to use the Nemesis system, which is so famous from the and copyrighted from the Shadow of Shadow of Middle Earth games. Um, so yeah, really sad. I I thought they would at least get Wonder Woman out and see how that one did before closing the studio. So this was all pretty big shock and to me and the people I know that still work there. So pretty sad week in for me this week. So yeah, hopefully those people can land on all the people there can land on their feet. A little bit of more sad news. I'm very much looking forward to the remaster or the reboot of Fable, but that was supposedly supposed to come out this year, even though I swear there was like an Xbox presentation last year that was talking about there would only be one RPG per year for the next couple years. And we already had Avowed, which I hear is doing well. But yeah, Fable was also intended to come out this year and has now been delayed to 2026. Although we did get a cool like 2-minute gameplay trailer from the podcast that this news came from. So apparently you fight a giant chicken. So I guess we will all be chicken chasers. Moving right along, Bloober and Konami are going to continue to partner up after apparent success with Silent Hill 2. So excited to see what they do next. I really like Bloober. I like the medium. I like what they did with Silent Hill 2. Several other Bloober titles, Layers of Fear. So I like Bloober team. And the fact that they're going to continue to work with Konami either on a new game or remastering one of their titles. So yeah, I'm very interested to see what Bloober Team can do with some Konami IP, even though nothing has been stated towards like what IP it is and all that kind of stuff. So looking forward to that. Saw a pretty significant price cut in the PlayStation VR 2 headset. So it has been out on the market for several years now at $550, which is which is very expensive and even more expensive than the console that you use to play it. So that has always kind of rubbed me and other people the wrong way. They now have a permanent price cut down to $400, and that includes some bundles that include the Horizon game. So yeah, so if you've been waiting to kind of get into PSVR, you can now get in for $400. This feels a little bit more like liquidation than it does like faith in the industry, and they're just trying to like get people to adopt. But I could reap the benefits and finally get that VR headset that I've wanted for so long for just $400. So yeah, I might look into that. Sounds like Epic and the Fortnite developers are getting into the expensive plastic game. Now that they've kind of honed in and cornered the market on rhythm games, they're going to make their own plastic guitars, which we all know and love from 2 decades ago when Guitar Hero was selling us $100 plastic guitars. This one will actually be $130, but it will have a significant, and I'm not much a musician, but at least even I've heard of Les Paul. It'll be a Les Paul plastic guitar that you will play your Fortnite rhythm game with. So, I bet Epic can get all those great partners, and yeah, someone's excited about this, but yeah, time definitely does repeat itself. And it was, I swear it's been like 20 years since I like picked up a plastic guitar to play one of those games. I played Guitar Hero over like Rock Band, but yeah, ooh man, something like that takes me back. Last but not least, I've been very excited for Severance. Watching that, and they actually put out a like fun browser game for macro data refinement. So anybody who's watching season 2 or even watched season 1, you'll know what macro data refinement is. They like move numbers around, and it's just kind of a fun game. And at this point, it's just kind of like a publicity stunt or something like that. But yeah, I'll have a link down below. You can check out the macro data refinement game where you sort groups of numbers together into the 4 different buckets. So I'm loving Severance, and yeah, I'm yeah, really excited to I play around with it, and I'm glad that they kind of did something like this to give us a sense of what it is to macro data refine. So But yeah, that's it for this week. Let me know if you feel I forgot anything down below in the comments. But as always, thanks for watching. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend, and I hope you have a super day. Bye.